outside and outlying areas into the out to the farms. So there is.
I was talking more the rally and crawl.
I've seen some commentary online in response to articles in the paper and that have said a bunch of unemployed people with too much time on their hands. They don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah,
we're the farthest thing from that. We both own our own businesses. I have children in sports. Steve has children in sports. We have no time for this. No time for this. But it is so wrong, and we couldn't sit back. We're just the type of people who can't.
Like
sit
Ben,
back
I started this whole process based on a conversation that somebody had. I was born on Cortland Crescent in Applewood Acres. I moved to Applewood Hills. I went to high school in Mississauga. I'm born and raised in this city. And EBCOR, which is owned, it's a power generation company that's owned by the city of Edmonton, had proposed to build a power plant on the corner of Middlegate and Haines. Well, my grandfather used to own that plot of land, okay? And it was with that conversation and with people involved in that phoned me up and said, Steve, can you get involved? And obscurely through the process, Eastern Power's doing their own little thing up at the city, doing their little advertising in obscure places in the Mississauga News. As I said to you earlier, it took this Mississauga News 2 weeks to find their notification. And it's through that I got involved, and I made it my goal that I was not going to sit back idly by and allow this to happen when I know that it's wrong. The city knows it's wrong. The Peel medical health officer feels it's wrong. The Toronto Medical Health thinks it's wrong.
The Liberal government
knows
it's wrong.
They know it's wrong. They know it's wrong, Ben. And it's a situation where they have to say, look, you know what? Either we write a check to these guys and get rid of them, or just cancel the plant and deal with the consequences after that.
Let's get back to health concerns. I know you guys aren't doctors, but what are some long-term health concerns when it comes to gas-fired power plants?
Well, if you want the best
for that house 500 yards away or a mile away.
Respiratory problems.
So are we talking about asthma, or are we talking about lung cancer?
You're talking every aspect in terms of the particulate matter that will fall into your lungs.
Certainly people that have respiratory problems, it's going to aggravate them.
And there's a gentleman by the name of Boyd Upper, and I don't know if you've ever heard of Boyd. He has been an advocate fighting a power plant that was proposed, as I said earlier, in 1999, there was a plant that was going to be built on Winston Churchill, just south of Royal Windsor, with Scythe Global, and they were one of the bidders in the last RFP for the 4 locations in southwest Mississauga. And Boyd has been an advocate fighting this, and he is a doctor, and he has documented proof on how badly that the particulate matter and the health concerns with regards to this plant can be to an infant, to an elderly, to even the particulate matter that can get into the Trillium Health Center through their ventilation system. And I've been told by HVAC companies and ventilation system companies that think that they will not be able to stop that sort of situation from happening. But it's not that. You have thousands and thousands of people, Ben, that go to Sherway every day or every week or every month. You have the people that are going to be in one Sherway. You're going to have people in Alderwood. It's just, and the stack height and the way that the prevailing winds blow from the northwest to the southeast are a problem.
Tell me about stack height. What if they said we're going to double, triple, quadruple the stack height? Is that a big mitigating factor?
But at some point in time, how far, at what point in time, there's a cost factor involved in that, Ben. And unfortunately, when the government goes and decides to pick these proponents, they don't look at the best technology, the most advanced tech. It's always the lowest bidder. And when you're always the lowest bidder, it's always the case of we're going to buy used equipment, we're going to buy the cheapest quality equipment, we're not going to build stack heights. Boyd Upper tried and worked extensively hard with Scythe Global. And they spent millions and millions of dollars to try to upgrade. They raised the stack height. They actually spent somewhere between 75, or proposed going to spend between 75 and $90 million to improve the quality of their plant.
And still?
And still, they haven't won. But at the end of the day, Eastern has not done anything to show us that they are community orientated, that they are
serious about safety concerns.
not even safety concerns. You got to understand, this plant is right beside a high-speed rail line. They're using
Literally
water,
right beside.
like
I mean, it runs
literally
right beside.
within me to that camera. That's how close.
We know
it
that
is.
there hasn't been a train derailment in Mississauga before, but
Okay.
so we're okay.
And there's
there.
a major gas line that runs along the rail line, okay?
Oh,
Which
man.
they're going to be connecting into. But
And
the
the Etobicoke Creek is right there.
So these plants produce plumes of steam, of water vapor. So, and it produces a lot of the water vapor during the winter time. And that water vapor could actually cause black ice and problems on the rail line, which we have actually said to the rail companies, could you actually look at this? And we haven't heard anything back again. But those are some of the concerns, and the concerns that could fall into 427 and QEW, as one of the callers called earlier.
Loads of concerns, and we want to get to as many callers as possible. Our number 905-848-LIVE. That's 905-848-5483. Roger is our next caller. Roger, how you doing?
Pretty good, Ben. How about yourself?
Not bad. Your thoughts on this plan for a new power plant in East Mississauga?
Well, actually, I'll be perfectly honest. The first I ever heard of it, that it was happening there, which I'm sure your guests will concur that not too many people do know about it. But I do have a question to your guests. You're talking about the particulates that come out of the gas generating station. Specifically, what particulates and what volume are you expecting to see from this site? Not that I'm for or against anything. I'm just very concerned about what these particulates are, especially being natural gas and the scrubbers that they have to reburn the results of combustion from natural gas. Thank you.
You have VOX, you have NOx, volatile organic compounds, nitrous oxide that comes out of it, carbon monoxide. Oh yeah, nitrous oxide comes out of it. Carbon monoxide comes out of it, and a lot of this stuff, Roger, that you can find on our website on chipcanada.org.
Yeah.
It'll show up on the screen, but the amount of particulate matter and the compounds that come out of it are shown on our website, and if you want to find that, then you can go on our website and it'll be there.
The website was right down there. We got to take a quick break. You're watching Ben Mercer live on Rogers TV. 905-848-LIVE if you want to have your thoughts heard.
The opinions expressed in the following program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect those of Rogers or Rogers TV.
Welcome back to Ben Mercer Live, and we've been learning a lot this hour about plans for a new power plant in East Mississauga. Our phone lines are open. Are you for or against the plant being built? 905-848-LIVE. That's 905-848-5483. We're live in studio with two men from the organization CHIP, Coalition of Homeowners for Intelligent Power, Greg Rohn and Steve Thompson. I think our last caller is a great example. He just called up and said, power plant. It's the first time ever hearing about a power plant.
Right.
We've been talking about, well, I've said the word frustration from you guys who have been following issues like this for about a decade now, and not a great deal of support, which is quickly changing. The name of the website you can find will flash on the bottom of our screen somewhere around here, but obviously a lot of people are going to have a lot of concerns. Back into the conversation, you talk about political support coming up to the October 6th election. No one seems to really want to take this. No one really wants to own this. The people, I mean, the people, citizens of Mississauga, they have a real choice. On September the 15th, are you guys going to hand around a petition? Are you going to start taking names and numbers and start putting them as part of a greater manifesto?
We do have
to
an
present?
we do have an online petition going right now on our website, and we've also started physical petitions because there are, as Steve had mentioned earlier, there are a lot of elderly people who don't have computers still.
Is there a number? Is it 50,000 signatures and you guys can get some sort of injunction to have plans stopped?
There's no
like
defined number. I think the larger the number, the greater your chance of getting the attention of a politician. I think the Conservatives' inaction on this issue is largely because they just want to sit back and watch the Liberals hang on their own noose with this bungled policy.
Well, 2 new polls out today show that's a dead heat between the Liberals and the Conservatives.
And I mentioned this earlier to some of our group that could be a good thing, because maybe finally, you know, I was worried that if the Liberals fell too far behind, they would just say, well, we're going to lose. Why should we even bother now? But now this issue, especially locally in the immediate region, it could be the difference maker between winning or not winning. And
the last, also, as we come up to the end of the show, the other conversation that really drove it home for me, and again, for everyone watching, they go, oh, a new plant in East Mississauga. Too bad East Mississauga, but it doesn't really work that way. For me, I go, oh, you know, I might be safe, I'm 20 miles from there. But talk about prevailing winds and where the real risk is for a lot of the pollutants. Talk about which direction the pollutants would actually...
So you would actually, the pollutants would actually fall into Mimico, Lone Branch, so that would be Lakeshore, Evans Avenue, Browns Line.
Those people, are they notified of this?
Well, you know what? It's a situation where we
as
now,
well as you would like.
We now have somebody that's an advocate that is actually going door to door, knocking on doors, handing out.
Their MPP, the former Environment Minister, hasn't been helping.
We got to wrap it up. Thank you so much. And obviously go to the website for more information. Thanks for your calls and support. You've been watching Ben Mercer Live on Rogers TV, in studio with members of CHIP, and that is Coalition of Homeowners for Intelligent Power. If you want more information, you can Google it, look up all sorts of information. Thanks again.
Thanks, Ben.